And greetings, followers. This is weather prognosticator and meteorologist Chad Merrill taking you through the next 7 days. We'll look at the forecast, some ups and downs in our temperatures, as well as what's ahead for the night sky. First of all, let's start out with the Hagerstown Town and Country Almanack website. Here is our forecast for October. We had predicted a pretty dry and warm stretch for the first 20 days of the month. Here we are, October 13th, and we are forecasting dry and warm weather. We do have a bit of cloud cover, but our temperatures overnight definitely have been above average, and some of your flowers are still blossoming, most likely here in the middle part of October. We have this dry and warm stretch through the 21st, and then we do indicate that we will see a hard freeze that will end the growing season in the northern part of the mid-Atlantic between the 22nd and the 23rd. Let's get you up to speed on what's going on out there right now. This is our water vapor imagery. What we have is a large-scale weather system here draped across the nation's midsection. You can see the counterclockwise swirl across the northern plains. And anytime, especially in the fall and the winter, when you're on the backside of a low pressure, you tend to get some cold air circulating down through there. And what you tend to get is snowfall. So here is the look at the radar image I'm going to show you from North Dakota. And take a look at how much snow has been falling with this particular storm system. Anywhere from 14 to 22 inches in the backside of this low pressure center here in the western Dakotas as the storm system moves north and east. There's been anywhere from 8 to 16 inches of snow across parts of the northern Rockies. This low pressure is moving off towards the north and northeast, and we'll get back here and we'll share the screen that has the water vapor imagery once again, and we'll show you this particular storm system heading up towards Canada. Now you see a lot of dry air across the central plains. This is some dry, cool air spinning in behind that cold front. The cold front for now is heading off towards the north and east into Canada, which means this upper level high pressure across the east, keeping us very warm, will remain intact for the next several days. But we are going to see a low pressure develop here across Texas. Meanwhile, we have a tropical system making landfall in Mexico, and some of that moisture will push into Texas. But a low pressure will develop on the southern end of this front, and that will be the front that actually moves into the mid-Atlantic and brings us finally cooler weather late this weekend and early next week. We have a trough or dip in the jet stream here, and that is bringing the cold air and the snow across the northern plains and northern Rockies. And this dip in the jet stream is slowly going to move east. But in the meantime, you can see the lines pointing north here. This is what's called an upper level ridge of high pressure, keeping things very warm across the East Coast. No freeze of the season has been noted across even New England, where it typically happens here by the middle of October. Here is what we're going to be looking at in terms of rainfall departures. So far, it's been a very dry month across the mid-Atlantic. In October, we are about an inch behind average. And you will see in the 2022 Hagerstown Town and Country Almanack, where we do break each month down in terms of the precipitation departures that we are expecting, we do have a dry month in store for the mid-Atlantic, being indicated below average precipitation, and that is coming to fruition. Temperature-wise, here is what we have seen. Here is the month so far. Temperature anomalies, very warm, much warmer than average across much of the central and the eastern part of the U.S. We've had that persistent high-pressure ridge in place. And in terms of precipitation, you can see most of the mid-Atlantic below average, and you get above average precipitation once you head into parts of the northern plains and the northern Rockies. Now, let us take a look at some other features here. I'm going to stop sharing this particular screen, and I'm going to share the PowerPoint presentation, which should be right here. All right, this is the Julian Oscillation, and we've talked about this in the last couple of weather briefings, but we are going from a phase 5 and 6 into a moderate phase 1 of the MJO, and that is later this month. So we have that cold front that will be delivering a short round of some cooler weather Sunday and Monday early next week. And then we do see the potential for a better chance for some colder weather right around the 23rd and 24th. Anytime you're in the phase 1 of the MJO in October, especially when you're going into a negative ENSO or a weak La Nina pattern, you tend to have some cooler anomalies across the east and the Great Lakes, and that's exactly what we are going to see later in the month of October. Here is the 500 millibar anomaly forecast. Again, here's that little dip late this weekend and early next week associated with that cool push. But notice we rebound very quickly by the middle of the week. So by the time you watch this podcast again next week, right around the 20th and 21st, temperatures will be rebounding quite a bit. And then we start to take a dip here once we get into the 23rd and 24th. And this is the time frame that we are looking for a hard freeze north of the Mason-Dixon line as some cooler temperatures move in. Look at the night sky going forward. Moon and Saturn will be close together on Thursday the 14th. They will be visible with the naked eye and binoculars, but if you're looking through a telescope, you won't see the Moon and Saturn all in one setting because they're a little bit too far apart. But you want to look in the southern sky after 6:50 p.m. on Thursday until about 12:17 a.m. Friday, and then it disappears in the southern. Then those two bodies of disappear in the southern horizon around 12:17 a.m. on Friday. But again, later Friday into early Saturday, the Moon and Jupiter will be in the southeast horizon, rising around 6:50 p.m. and then sinking below the southwestern horizon. That's where the sun sets around 1:35 a.m. So you can see the Moon and Saturn and Moon and Jupiter in the night sky later this week. We have a Gemini meteor shower, although this one is not a very spectacular one. It's visible from 10:27 p.m. and this would be early next week until about 6:52 a.m. with the best displays around 6 a.m. Again, that is early next week on Monday, right around the 19th and 20th of October. Now, in a perfect world, you see about 2 meteors per hour, but the problem is we're going into a full moon, so the moonlight will interfere with this particular meteor shower. We also have the full moon, speaking of that, Wednesday, a week from today, October 20th. It will be visible for much of the night. It'll be very, of course, full moon. It's very bright in the sky, and we should have decent weather, so the sky should be clear. And if you want to read more about the Hunter's Moon and the Harvest Moon, it's on page 46 of the 2021 or 2022 Hagerstown Town and Country Almanack. A couple of events. Bishops has a running event on October 16th. That is ahead of the cold front, so it'll be rather warm and humid. No rain. The showers with the cold front will come later in the day. This is at Berkeley Park in Virginia. Temperatures in the upper 60s to mid 70s in the morning for the race. And then in the afternoon, temperatures in the low to mid 80s. A race the next day will be much cooler and less humid behind that front on the 17th. This is at Fletcher's Boathouse on Canal Road. Mostly sunny, temperatures in the mid 50s, but finally the dew points drop well below 60 degrees, so the runners won't have any concerns with the heat. So that is very good news going forward. So I will stop sharing that screen, and we'll go back here to the website real quick. And so once again, here's our forecast going forward, the Hagerstown Town and Country Almanack. We had indicated the potential for severe weather right around the 9th through the 11th. Of course, we had some drizzle, but we never had severe weather here in the Mid-Atlantic. But we do anticipate that our forecast for the hard freeze in the northern part of the region, right around the 22nd and 23rd, will come to fruition. And then we indicate that the weather will turn milder with some showers to end the month, but probably some fair weather for Halloween. So thank you for joining me for this particular weather briefing on this Wednesday, October 13th, and we'll be back next week. We'll take a more detailed look at the following week, going through the later part of October. In the meanwhile, stay safe and enjoy the cooler weather coming late this weekend and early next week.